Good morning, everyone. Today is Tuesday, November 28th, and today we will cover the trades for YieldMax funds TSLY and now CONY to an extent, of course. And today's video will be different than the norm because I have a 1-year-old in the background making noise due to someone at my job's scheduling an early meeting that gives me zero time after I drop him off at daycare. So you got to do what you got to do, right? So here it is. If I go to the actual trades for TSLY, here they are. So long story short, you see 3 transactions. Typically when you see 3, it's 2 for the synthetic and 2 for the call. And in this case it is. So the top one is a buy call. The second one is a sell put. And therein lies adding to the synthetic. 385 additional contracts going right to the synthetic. The price on the right is how much they paid for the buy call. And then the price to the right of the put, second row, is how much they got credited for the sell put. Now, the bottom one is the short call. So they sold the call that expires this Friday, December 1st, with a 245 strike. And they got $2.03 for their troubles. So now, if we go to our handy dandy spreadsheet, I added the synthetic here. And you can see how much they made, with the call and the put. They got a little credit overall. And the reason is, if you look at the Tesla price right now, it's below the strike of the synthetic. So the put's going to be a little more valuable, but it doesn't really matter in the end. So right now, if they closed out the synthetic, it would be a debit position of 27 million. But this synthetic expires January 19th, so they're not going to do that. But I show this just to see where we're at currently. So going to the calls, which we spoke of already, they did they used 385 contracts, and they did a strike price of 245, which is 3.78% out of the money. Again, Cybertruck announcement this week, so the emoji is kind of like, I don't know anymore. I'm just dazed, right? I don't know what to think. Hopefully they do. So anyway, we got a credit of 78,155 added to our running total debit of 55.9 million. We have 400,000 additional outstanding shares. So interest is continuing to grow, which is good. Closed positions, nothing closed. I just added to the 245. So nothing new there. Active positions going into today. Again, we have a 245 strike, which is 3.78% of the money. The majority of the contracts are in that 1,650 contracts are at a 240 strike, which is 1.66% out of the money. Tesla's been staying kind of flat, so that's pretty good. IV is really low, but maybe when Cybertruck comes out, IV will start to go, but I don't know which way Tesla will go. We'll see. 37% IV, 30-day IV. And then on the bottom here, I just capture possible upside, which I'm calculating to be 42 cents if Tesla went up above, around 4%, 3.6%. So that's still good. I'll take it. Right now, TSLY is at 11.45. I'd like to get to the 12 mark. That'd be pretty cool. All right, so what happened yesterday with Tesla? As mentioned, it didn't really move. It went up 0.27%. I added it on the wrong row, as my son is grabbing my water bottle. But yeah, this should have been on the 1127 row, which I'll fix later. So 0.27% increase for Tesla, and TSLY went up 0.53%. Again, TSLY did better because they got credits. They got a credit from the short call and they got a credit from the synthetic. Overall, the variance, TSLY did better, and then running variance, Tesla is still beating TSLY for the month, 13.44%. Cash and treasuries, cash went up a lot, around 5 million, and then treasuries really didn't move. But overall, it went up 4.9 million, which is good to see. The reason for that, if we scroll down here, the change in outstanding shares, as mentioned, was 400,000. So if you take the 400,000 and you multiply that by the NAV, which this formula does here, it takes what? B21 times B12, right? Forget the D thing. But sometimes that it's a merged cell, so that's why it looks that way. So yeah, 400,000 times the NAV equals a net impact of a $4.5 million credit, plus they got some call premium, synthetic premium. In the end, 4.7 million impact, which is close to the 4.9 million. So where do we stand for the month? How much did we make? Where are we at? Oh, he's going for the diapers and the wipes. We are at, let me take those. Sorry. We are at 167 million income in synthetic, 55 million in debit for the short calls, ending in $111 million credit. So, is there a debit that they need to offset this against? For prior months, again, I do not know, but let's just assume there is not, and let's assume 90% payout. We could get $1.48, which is insanity. Merry Christmas, right? Do we want $1.48? Some do, some don't. Some don't want the NAV to go down, but some just want the money. But either way, they may not have a choice. I don't know if they can leave some money into the NAV. I assume that qualifies just as good as distributing income to your shareholders. But again, I'm new to this fund, as we all are. What is he putting in his mouth? Sorry, guys, for the disruptions, but it is what it is. But yeah, we'll see what comes about. So right now I'm showing a possible low payment of 148, possible high payment of $1.65. Again, this is assuming no prior debits from the prior month, and it's assuming they're not leaving anything to bump up the NAV. But, again, who knows? Moving on to CONY. CONY had a hell of a day, man. Let's just go to look at this. Oh my God. And before I even get into this, just keep in mind, I'm not really tracking everything for CONY right now. So I wasn't able to capture all of the movement, but I did capture the new synthetic position. So if you look at the, where are we at? Get away from the water bottle. All right, so the new synthetic, if I go to my tab here, it's a 120 strike that I saw. And yeah, so I'm showing that they sold the call with a 105 strike and they bought to close a 105 strike. So, and that shows I thought most of it was, I don't know, some of it was in 105, there was strike prices all over the place. But long story short, they now have 9,135 contracts with a 120 synthetic strike price. This expires January 19th, 2024. And then the 500, you'll see, is even more confusing because they had to sell the call and then buy to close the put. So I guess they lost some shareholders or some outstanding shares. So they had to close out some of that synthetic of the 120. So, again, it is what it is. And then, the 5530, what is that? They paid to close the 97. They paid $23.25 per share, and they rolled those contracts, making only $390 credit. But they at least have a 125 strike price into September 8th. Again, I'm covering most of this here because my spreadsheets currently are not picking all of it up. It's a work in progress. Starting December, it's going to be everything. All right, so CONY synthetic. We started with 9,135 contracts. They reduced it by 500, so now they have 8,635 contracts. And since they just opened, you can see like what it's worth right now. If they closed it out, essentially, it's almost a net zero. So, and you see the coin price is at 119.77, the strike of 120. So it's pretty, again, it's kind of at the money still. And again, it expires January 19th, 2024. So moving on to this spreadsheet. There was no, new short calls, and that's really all I'm adding. Or, if they closed any of the calls I did add, you would see that as well. So again, I apologize for the incomplete version of CONY. But like I said, this sheet is a work in progress that will help me to make a new spreadsheet for both TSLY and CONY next month. So if you look, CONY went up in price by what? 0.17%. Okay, we're happy with that. But guess what? Coin went up 3.66%. And that's because they were just blown. Their strike price just got killed. $97 was not cutting it anymore. So they lost. They lost another day of gains, which at least they're going up though. Cash and treasuries. Cash went up about 3 million. Treasuries kind of stayed the same, but overall change is about 2.7 million. So, it had to do with all that movement yesterday with the premium. But again, this sheet's a work in progress, and trust me, it's going to be, you're going to like it in the end. All right, active contracts. This is actually right. I double checked it like a couple times last night. We have 2 contracts expiring this Friday. One with a strike, I'll say 2,930 contracts with a strike price of 108 expiring this Friday, December 1st. That's in the money by 9%. And then we have 175 contracts with a 111 strike price. That's 7% in the money, expiring, this Friday. Then the other one that they rolled, that they were able to roll is a $125 strike price, which is 4.3% out of the money. Finally, out of the money, a CONY call out of the money. I haven't seen one yet, but here they are. And that one expires into next week. So they could probably blow that out of the water. Coin's been on a tear. Again, I apologize for the background noise. That is my 1-year-old. But I had to make this video earlier than usual before daycare opens. So now there's the 30-day chart. You can see CONY kind of just floating up and coin not so much. But coin's still going up, to an extent. All right, so in summary, as my 1-year-old destroys my office right now, in summary, they finally made the move to start to recover, their blown out strike prices for CONY. So they're looking pretty good. The downside is you may not see such a great payment this month for CONY. I don't really have a prediction yet for CONY because I haven't been tracking everything, but my guess, it's not going to be what you would hope. But time will tell. I'll throw out an estimate maybe early next week just to have fun with it. As always, this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. This video is for fun and entertainment. And yeah, that's it. If you enjoyed this content, please click like. If you have any questions, leave in the comments. If you heard my 1-year-old in the background, let me know. A little more fun and entertainment for everyone. A little background noise. So anyway, I got to go begin my day. Starts nice and early today, earlier than usual. But have a great day, everyone. Later.